Welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message at the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hey guys, welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. My name is Adam Ponophobia Cogswell. You listen to episode number 368. It is June 13th, 2016, and I am joined by three great guys. Punchinello is here.
Hey everybody.
Serial Box is here as well.
Hello.
He came out of his Overwatch hole to join us for a League of Legends podcast.
I'm not convinced that we're not talking about Overwatch.
Well, I guess
I've been in that hole with him.
Given that you haven't told us what we're talking about, I think that there's a chance.
Why do I have to be the one that comes up with what we're talking about every week? That is the question.
Because you're the host.
I mean, we suggested Overwatch.
Yeah.
You just shot us down.
My last one was a classic.
Cheer us here.
Hey, what's up?
We are not talking anymore about Overwatch on this show.
Can we talk about Nature Box? Because these creme brulee peanuts, which are not sponsoring this episode, I don't think, are fantastic and just came in the mail yesterday.
I
whatever day makes sense because Sunday they wouldn't be delivering.
I actually think we are technically still sponsored by NatureBox, but I don't have that information in front of us. Instead, we are sponsored by Loot Crate, if you want to go check it out. www.trylootcrate.com/TFN. You can get 10% off your first order if you use the code BRIDGE, BRIDGE 10. Bridge 10. You get 10% off. So Loot Crate for $20 a month. Every single month you get a crate. So it's not even like a real crate. It's like a little box full of nerd goodies, and it comes with... Go ahead.
I got a cup like this one time. It was beautiful.
Now,
look how amazing it is.
The people listening to that
it still is beautiful.
That is a Carnage mug. It is Carnage's face, and it's a nice big
Carnage
mug.
from Spider-Man for all of you who might not know who that is. And go look it up because it's a giant scary face that's beautiful, and it makes me feel great every time I drink out of it.
What's great about this is that every single month there is a theme. The month that Street Fighter V came out, there was like a fighting theme, and they had Street Fighter, and it was like Capcom type of theme, and they had a bunch of that stuff. They had a Marvel theme one month, or villains. It was a villains theme because they actually had I told you that the Los Polos Hermanos piece in there from Breaking Bad. They've had space ones, like the month that Star Wars came out, they had a space crate, and you don't know what's going to be in it until you get it. But for signing up, you can check it out and just use our code BRIDGE10. You get a bunch of awesome nerd goodies every single month. There's T-shirts, there's little trinkets. You can deck out your office, deck out your play area. Lots of cool stuff. Always a pin that comes in it every single month as well. That you can. I have a bunch of them in my backpack. It's very cool, very awesome for you to use. If Loot Crate isn't your thing and you're looking to try to get into like Overwatch, because we'll just talk about that real quick.
You said we weren't talking about it anymore.
You can actually go to www.gameflyoffer.com/TFN and sign up. You get your first video game free by signing up with us with Gamefly, and you can actually try out Overwatch. It's $15 a month. There's also a $30 a month package you can sign up for. One game out at a time, as many games as you can play and send back. So really cool way to rent video games on the cheap, get them sent right to you. You don't have to go to Redbox all the time to go rent it and hope they have it. Like Gamefly is going to have it for you. So check out those offer codes. They're all sitting underneath of or in the description right now. That's it, guys. That's episode number 368 of the No,
you're terrible. You're so bad.
I'm a good guy. Speaking of good guys, I do want to discuss the video that was on our League of Legends as of I think Sunday. Because I think it's a good discussion, a good topic discussion. Serial, did you see that video?
If you want to link it, I will have seen it by the next time you ask.
It's a 4-minute long video, and it is a Place TV. It's a bunch of clips, but it's 4 minutes long. And what happened is,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name. I actually have the video up right here.
It's not worth it to call somebody out on it, but it was the really negative attitude on not understanding why. Yeah, okay. You can explain it better, but I did see it.
It's he entitled it Reality Denial, And what happens is this guy is just completely in denial, or seemingly in denial of everything that happens in the game. At what he's playing Scion top versus Malphite, and at one point, Malphite's 6-0, and he's telling this guy literally does nothing. He's saying to his buddy who is recording it, this guy literally does nothing. I don't know why you guys are losing. Anything. He doesn't do anything. Yeah. Literally does nothing.
He's like, well, why? He just did half of your health in 3 hits.
And the guy comes up with some bullshit excuse.
He's not gonna do anything. He's useless.
Yeah, if you haven't
he's
seen the video,
you 5 times. What do you mean? What do you mean he's not doing anything? He took your first tower. And now he's taking your second one, and I was killing you again right now.
If it wasn't so varied in how it was being explained, because he did say in very many different ways that the Malphite was not going to do anything or was not presently, I would think that he might have just like done a supercut of his friend and then like spliced in just random reactions just for fun. But instead, oh boy, it reminded me of my favorite people to play League of Legends with. Just people that constantly yell, oh, this champion's OP. Why is it? Because he killed me in lane? He beat me 1v1? Is it because you did this? No, it's because he's OP.
We also called him hacking.
Oh, he was hacking. Sorry.
Yes, he was
hacking. Hacking also is discussed, as always.
Well, I brought this video up. If you want to see it, it'll be in the description of this podcast, so you can go check that out on trinityforcenetwork.com or on our subreddit at T-Force Network. They'll be both linked there. People always ask, like, why is this happening? I'm like, you got to read the descriptions, guys. It's in iTunes. It's in the website. But I want to bring that up and talk about it because I've been playing a lot of ranked lately. I've actually been playing a lot of League, unlike everybody else in the show. And there are a lot of people in every gaming community that don't take control of their own actions. I know we've previously discussed this, but I think it's a really good idea to discuss it again now that we are just past the midway point, and a lot of people are going to start pushing pretty hard for their final ranks up until the last couple of months. And that's attitude when playing League of Legends, and how to not be this person, or if you are this person, at ways to turn this around. And that's kind of the open discussion topic I wanted to talk about tonight is, again, just how not to be this guy.
Oh boy. So I have a million thoughts on that, and I'll try to consolidate some of them just because I think it applies to way many more things than just League of Legends, to gaming in general. But the thing that some people, and by that I mean 99% of people through like early years, through middle school, high school, college, people don't take responsibility for a lot of things. They don't take responsibility when they mess up, try to shift blame. This is a game where if you take responsibility for something, which I usually try to do if I mess up, even if it's me being drunk and playing Karma and trying to run through the jungle and pissing off Pone and Shira, it's that if you are like, if you're humble about it and saying, guys, I messed up, sorry, people stop shitting on you most of the time. Unless you do it over and over again, they're saying, oh, you're okay, you recognize that you messed up, you're going to take action to fix it, and usually that goes a little bit better. Say, oh, sorry, guys, I missed something or other. That wasn't the best play. My bad. Let's recover from that. Instead, people just get into rage fests and say, well, fuck, my teammates didn't follow up, or it was their fault, or you didn't ping, and just make excuses instead of trying to figure out how to play the game from that point on. It's not going to help to go back. You can't hit the rewind button. It doesn't work.
I think there's a big problem with this in life, and I've noticed it. I used to do it a lot, right? In my younger years, and up until, I still kind of do it. I'm like, oh, I hit that flash, but then
You do it all the time.
No, I don't. What I'll do is I'll go, I hit that, but then
no, it's serious. He's not taking responsibility. He's saying he doesn't do it.
Shame.
No. I think everybody does it, no matter what. Like, you can't fully stop, like at points stop, not or trying to deflect blame, but it's being able to recognize in that moment and saying, oh, I'm deflecting blame. I have to now move. I have to move it to the actual source, which is me. When I'm playing a lot, I noticed the other day when I was streaming, I was talking about it. I'm like, okay, I actually should have done this. I'll be dead, right, waiting on my respawn timer. I'll go, oh, you know what? That was my fault. I shouldn't have walked into that river that way. I shouldn't have walked that way. I should have followed my team earlier. I should have done this, should have done that. But in the moment, I'm like, I fucking hit flash, I swear to God. But as you get older, your brain moves faster than your fingers. My brain goes, flash! And my fingers go, flash.
That is something you should get in the habit of doing whenever you have any downtime. That's usually when you're dead. That's the perfect time to think about what you did wrong. And when you get in the habit of doing that, you stop looking at what other people did wrong, and you start to self-reflect more. And I think that self-reflecting thing that we're talking about is a mindset you really have to make a conscious effort of bringing into the game. Like as you're joining the game, you gotta think, okay, I'm focusing on myself. And it's a practice skill that you can learn over time. It's not gonna come overnight. Like you're still gonna do a lot of raging because you just can't change that habit. I mean, we're like Pone said, we're still breaking that. But over time, if you keep reminding yourself, hey, I gotta focus on what I can do, then you'll get better.
No, I like that you call it a habit because that's exactly what it is, and this is something that will not be fixed overnight. They have a saying, if you ever end up taking like a sociology or a sociology of violence course or anything that kind of like deals with human behavior, the big thing that they reiterate time and again is that past behavior is the biggest predictor for future behavior. So like if you do something all the time, you're probably going to continue to do something all the time. And the only situation that, to go about making a major change is by like actively, cognitively making that decision like, oh, I'm frustrated. I feel like I'm about to be an asshole. Maybe I need to just jump the gun and mute myself or mute everybody else so that I can calm myself down as much as possible and kind of like mitigate things a little bit.
Yeah, look for some tricks to kind of help you do this. Like Chira just said, you can try and mute everyone if the smallest text will freak you out, or maybe queue with a buddy who you actually play better with and you actually play calmer with.
Declawed was that for me for a really long time. Like Declawed was so chill, it was super, super easy to never get tilted when somebody that positive is on your team.
I was fumbling for a bit because I was thinking of the last trick I wanted to say, and that was Daisy's trick to like put Post-it notes on her monitor. But that was just like general reminders, like remember to do this, remember to buy this item, or I think it was Dom actually. I think Dom did that.
Both of them.
You can do the same.
Yeah,
you could do the same thing as you're practicing the skill, like. Focus on yourself. Just like post that 10 times across your monitor, and
maybe on your second monitor, guys. Just before you cover up your don't make it so every time you die you put a post-it note on your main monitor. Main monitor, you put one on there every time you die, and so if you die too much during the course of the night, you probably can't play anymore very effectively. So maybe rethink that. No,
you could just put that post-it right on the chat box.
Yeah, that's true. Or you could turn it off. Which is a novel idea. It's in the settings, guys. The other thing that I think is a little on the same topic, but at least gets you back in the right mindset, is and we say this all the time, and it's so worth repeating, I think, be okay with being carried. It has to happen.
Yes,
so
I got
much.
carried the other day, and it was great. It was the best. I just let myself. I was like, I'm done. You guys have fun.
That's a good feeling.
If you like, let's say you're top lane, you think you're on an island because you kind of are, and you end up like going down 1 or 2 kills early. That's, while it is a detriment to your team, you can check there are still 4 other people who are playing the game and trying to do well, just as well as you are. But if you try to go play hero mode because you're like, well, I gotta make up for my past mistakes in this one game.
Jungler's mistakes.
The jungler's mistakes, and you've called him out on it, and he's already muted you. It's so not worth it. You end up more than not disadvantaging your team even harder because you probably feed more, kind of like this person did that we're going back to that video. Just that person keeps getting farther ahead, even if you're saying, no, it's okay, he's only dumpstering me in lane. Yeah, but it's gonna snowball way harder than you think when that
shit rolls
that person
downhill.
Goes top. That person goes to any other lane, and they're like, oh, I wonder how he killed me with only 8 kills so far in this game, and it's 12 minutes in. That's weird.
The number one thing, if you can take anything, I think if there's anything you can take out of this podcast, because I don't believe that the people listening, I mean, I want to believe that everyone listening is going to go, wow, I respect these guys, and I'm going to take their opinion, and I'm going to stop doing this, and I'm going to shift that. Like, I'd be a fool to think that everybody would actually, do that. But I think if there's anything you can take out of this, and you're looking for a way to get out of silver this season, you're looking for a way to get out of whatever, it's that just don't die. The number one skill you can learn in any video game ever, not just League of Legends, is just don't die. Right?
Even
at a
put it this way. If you're not dying, yeah, you might not be getting the biggest advantage ever, but you're not handing off an advantage to the enemy team.
Yeah, even being down 50 CS is better than dying and being down 50 CS, because that's 300 less gold the enemy team has at any point, and you're still getting experience somewhere, somehow, doing something.
So before I comment on that, I just wanted to point out something Riot brought up in chat, which is something he does when he's feeling Regis. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. If he makes a mistake, he'll say "my bad."
Regis.
He'll say "my bad" and just mute everybody for the next 20 seconds, just to avoid the blowback that will come.
I'll usually say
Now, on the
Chira made
topic
me do it, and then I'll AFK.
Yeah, you can do that too. That's fine. On the
Chira's
topic of not dying. Oh, did you want?
Pone, I really hope that you're saying Chira made me do it in games where Chira's not present and people don't recognize you. Because
Exactly.
you know our gigantic listener base, occasionally there are games where the people won't recognize us.
I had a support the other day.
You got to remember that.
Well, shout out to I think it was Faith of Knives. I can't remember his exact name. I apologize. I was going to look you up before the show and I didn't get a chance to. But shout out to you for playing with me and winning the game the other day. We get a double kill. We start walking back. He's like, "Good job." He goes, "Wait, are you? I listen every day." And I'm like, "Hi, buddy. Yeah, let's do good."
That's interesting considering we don't put up that much content.
Well, I listen to every
that'll be
show.
impressive.
But
No, every day would be really impressive. Like
technically, you could listen every day for a year as of
You
how the
could.
podcast goes.
That's true. Yeah.
It's 368 of them.
Hey, Mitch, how about you stop shooting us down? How about you stop that self-sabotage?
Knife of Day.
Yeah, Knife of Day. That's it. The Karma.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, he's
Right.
picking a solid champ right now too. I'm cool with that. He knows what's up. Or
So
she.
not dying.
Not dying. Go back to that.
Not dying is great advice, I think, when you're first starting the game. But I don't like suggesting that as you continue to learn it, because we're talking about habits again. People kind of break off into the habit of playing too passively. I think a lot of actually AD carry mains suffer from that, where they're afraid of not dying so much they won't contribute to the fight, or they won't trade back when they're getting attacked in lane. I just see a lot of bad habits from AD carries like that. Like, oh, this guy's attacking me. I better just run away. It's like, no, you could actually stutter step and attack him back as you're disengaging. You should do that.
And all right, I agree with that in a perfect world when like people kind of know what they're doing and they can actually go about doing things. But if I'm gonna have a lemon on my team, if I'm just gonna have somebody who like the League of Legends gods has decided that this person is not going to be on par with what I wish that they were, I would much rather them not die and play passive than to die a lot and be aggressive.
Well, I think there's two ways to learn, and you just covered both of them. It was like you can either go the route of mastering not dying first and then add more aggression over time, and then there's the opposite approach where you're just aggressive all the time. You die and probably lose a lot at the start, but eventually you learn what aggression works, what aggression doesn't.
That's definitely me. Like I said, I've been trying to learn Yasuo, and I keep trying to do things that I'm just not good enough to do all the time, and I die for it. And part of it too is like getting older and continuing to play this game. You know, I've played this game over 5 years at this point. And Adam talked about it earlier, like the mind works faster than the body necessarily follows. So it's like, oh, I should do this. I know what I'm doing, but I just can't do it half a second fast enough. And then you're dead. And it's like that, if you were just a little bit quicker on like the 3 moves up to a certain point, that might in itself be the difference between a death and a kill. And because I get really, really aggressive, usually it's a death unless I know exactly what I'm doing. So, like, I feel bad, and I get tilted for my teammates when I'm that asshole that's 0 and 7 and not doing that
my
great.
teammates.
I get tilted for them. Like, I get it, and shit like that happens, and it's one of those things, like, I won't take a character like that into ranked unless, you know, I'm not doing that all the time. But even still, like, that's me recognizing that, look, I really want to be good at one particular thing, but I'm not yet, and I have to put in the time to get good at something like that. And even though I've put 5 years into this game, and even though I've spent a lot of time doing other stuff, I've been trying to lane way more, but like I've played a couple ranked games this week, just pick up jungle and do great the entire time. So Adam's suggesting that I just say fuck it and stay jungle forever.
I'm one trick ponying myself until
all you play
I
is
read
Jhin.
it. All I play is Jhin.
All he plays Jhin.
No, I got carried the other day. When Mitch brought up getting carried, right? I was playing Ezreal, and you know how hard it is to go from staggering your shots with Jhin and only have 4 of them at us. They only shoot 0.633 seconds. Every 0.63 6 whatever you get it. That's how fast they shoot. To going to somebody that can auto attack freely and gains auto attack speed based on how many Qs you hit, how many times you attack and shit. It's really fucking weird.
And building attack speed.
Yeah,
that thing too.
It's really, really fucking weird. Like, it's really hard to get used to when you're not used to it. And so I just let myself
I would almost
get carried.
say, talking about going back to that passive AD carry conversation, like Jhin is one of those characters, like unless you know what you're doing on him and you just go up to auto attack, if you fuck up a little bit, you're probably gonna die. Like, would that be incorrect to say? Because I mean, like, and if that's the case, you might err on the side of caution and sit really far back and not get those shots off. And if you're not shooting as often, that's a problem. So like it's good that you can maximize being able to do that, but that's a champ that's not exactly the easiest to play either.
Champion GG actually has Jhin listed. Now, I don't say the highest because I didn't look at everyone, but his stats has assists higher than kills on average for him, and I would assume that's just based on the way his kit works.
Yeah,
I would say that's because of his W a lot too. Just being able to impact a fight from very long range and throwing. I think that's got to be a huge portion of it.
It's that ultimate, because a lot of times you can start out a fight using your ultimate to help slow people or catch people, etc.
It's ultimate or W. And anything that gives you a massive amount of range that you don't have to be anywhere near auto attack range to be able to do it. That's gonna net you assists if you're using it correctly anyway. So like it becomes a thing like, oh, you're not even close to the fight, but you can just hit W or on somebody, and you might not have gotten a kill, but you got an assist because the range is ridiculous. And your W's on a much shorter cooldown than like a Lux ultimate, or else you'd see more Lux assists rather than her using that to just clench
14, 15 seconds
kills from wherever.
Rank 1.
I would note that despite that being true for Jhin, it's true for almost every AD carry that isn't a hyper carry.
All right.
It
should be too, because they should be.
It should be. Well, no, you shouldn't be getting that many kills. Like, you shouldn't be getting that many more kills with assist. Although Draven, Twitch, Cog, kind of makes sense. So.
You say Draven?
Yeah.
I thought you said Darius. Sorry.
What?
I've been playing some AD carry Darius recently, and I've been really confused as to why it's not working.
In my head, Darius or Draven was Darius.
They have axes. So.
They're brothers.
They're brothers.
Brothers.
All right,
Two brothers.
We can roll this back a little bit. Just slow the train down here and kind of talk about the tilting or going AFK, etc. I think if you're put in that spot where you find yourself, you know what you should do is install Plays TV, and then if you have a bad game, go back and listen to some of those points. Like pull the clip a little bit farther than just the death or the kill, or go find where team fights are, and just one time go listen to yourself in a game. If you're a person who likes to talk out loud or scream or stuff, you might actually find that you say a lot of silly shit.
I will say, Plays TV and having my microphone activated, there is no one that aggravates myself more than I do when I talk, because like I every time I say something,
seconded on you.
Go fuck yourself. But no, like it's interesting just catching what you say or like how you emote during like really tense moments of gameplay, whether it be a death kill or whatever. And if you want to talk about being self-reflective, that's an easy way to get a little snapshot of how you act a lot of the time. Just go and like look at, your reaction when you either die or get a kill, and that should sum up a lot of how you play in general.
If I get mad, I will talk shit to myself. And I've gone back and listened. I'm like, man, I was mean.
So long as you're doing it to yourself and not actually typing to your teammates.
I don't type to my teammates.
Or using a newly implemented voice chat feature that Riot could put in.
Would never join it, so it's okay. Because there's that. There was a thread that came out this week, too, that said, what should I do if someone's threatening or does go AFK on my team? And that just brought up, I have to tell the story, because I told it on Twitter and I told it in chat the other day, but it made me laugh. That yesterday I played a game, it was a 4v5, and there was a Bard who just sat near the Raptors, and we're like, all right, is this dude lagging? Because he just sat there, didn't say anything, just sat there, and we're like trying to fight dragons and shit, and we lose a team fight, and we're like, Bard, what's going on? He's like, I'm just sitting here to make the jungler feel like I felt all game. And wow. I couldn't do anything but laugh, because like that was the most clever AFK I've ever heard anyone do. And I just laughed at him. I'm like, all right, man. I said, I think we get the point. Let's play. And he didn't. He just did what he did. We ended up winning the game, thankfully, anyway. But because I think at that point, everybody was kind of turned it on. They were like, all right, we're 4 men down. We want to win. And that's the attitude to have in any of these games is always, I want to win. I don't care if it's 1-10, like the enemy team's up 10. Look at your team comp. If you have like an Anivia on your team, for example, you can stall that game out for a solid extra 20 minutes as long as you guys aren't being stupid. And
it's not end of the world. I mean, it's really bad if somebody is AFK, somebody leaves since a 4v5. But I mean, I think we've all won 4v5, so it's not the end of the world if someone does leave. So don't start freaking out if it happens. Buckle down and try to win, damn it.
Mm-hmm. Always try to win. Stop surrendering. Man, I used to be the guy that was like, you should surrender, the game is... Well, but at this point, I think either I have matured or the game has matured to the point where I feel like you could stall games out and come back and win when you're down that far. As long as you have a positive attitude and you don't try to chase kills and not go for objectives.
And that's super champion dependent too. Like if you have late game scaling characters and you can hold out long enough, yeah, you could definitely do that. And I mean, all of us have been in situations where we've won 4v5s just because of the sheer amount of games we put in.
Yeah, you just don't do stupid shit. There's something that I have noticed, and I know I've told you guys to do this a lot. I've been trying to do what I'm about to say, but I found it really hard to do, and that's leading the team, right? Let's say that you aren't the person who has the problem where you are constantly in denial. You're just that person who can't find a way to win games, or there's something going on, but your team's not doing it, etc. Right? You're just frustrated. I've noticed a lot as I've started climbing up that there's more people who take control of the game, and it's just the way they type. They're like, go top, ping, and people just move and follow. Like, all right, let's take dragon. Go back
people
and do this.
People want to follow orders in solo queue.
Yeah.
They're looking for somebody to give them direction. I'm one of those people. If you tell me to do something, I'll do it.
I did used to do that a lot. That was my mentality for a long time, and I still will do it because, well, some people find it easier to on support because you don't have to worry about as much earlier on in the game or even later on. But if you can take charge and you're being smart about it, don't be mad when the team follows up and you lose the fight, and they say that wasn't a great call. You'd be like, okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, that I should have recognized they were coming from that direction. I don't know.
And you could be a vocal leader for your team, even if you aren't the best at giving direction over the flow of game during the meta. Like I'm not very good at giving directions. Like, hey, we should go top lane. That's why I'm not the shot caller for my Rank 5 team, because I suck at that. But I mean, you could be a vocal leader for your solo queue team just by diffusing situations. Like we were talking about earlier, how to get somebody to stop AFK or someone to not leave. If two people are arguing, you can just say, hey guys, chill out, or try to deflect the blame to yourself, like, no guys, it was really my bad. Or just reemphasize the last call, like these two are arguing, just say, hey guys, dragon, 30 seconds, let's go. Just try and stop, just cool the tempers, and that way you can actually help your team a lot. You don't have to be the shot caller, you can just be the guy that keeps everyone cool.
You just need to say, like, one thing that you can always say, even if it's completely untrue, is to say, oh, we're not actually down that much, just one team fight, we're back in it. Like, that could be so blatantly false, and you know it, but any sort of motivation like that is very easy for somebody to jump on board with. Because
guys,
you think about it, that's motivating, and it's coming just from text, but that's about as motivating as somebody's going to get.
Well, it opens that small window of hope that the people on your team might absolutely need. I mean, it's not saying that they're ever, like, that's not 100% going to work all the time because some people are just shits, but any little thing helps.
That's also a little bit of identifying what your team is good at and maybe saying, like, okay, guys, we keep fighting against, I don't know, like, tight areas against a Lux. Like, her lasers are super easy to hit. Let's work around that. Let's be in lanes. It'll be easier to dodge, and we can maybe nullify some of her strengths. Lux might be a bad example because she also does well at sieging and stuff. But
Rumble ult.
yeah, Rumble, great example. Stop fucking fighting Rumble in the jungle. Like, just like take it to lane, and we can abuse that advantage. And that information is something that they might not have thought of in the moment. But if you're laying all your information out on the table, you can collect that and do surprisingly good things for people that are literally only typing and pinging. Like, that's the only source of communication. Use
guidance.
Give
people guidance. People are lemmings. They need to be told where to go and how to do
guidance. Guidance doesn't need to be typing out things either. Like, if some people are way more vocal, whether it be in voice chat or otherwise. Like, I'm sure you've run into a diverse group of people while you've played. Pings are solid too. If I'm on my way somewhere, I always ping on my way. If I see a jungler show up or whatever, I do a caution little alert ping or anything. Like, it becomes a situation, and I've talked about this a lot in the past, but it becomes a situation where, like, any extra information that you can provide, even if it's you not taking the time to do something, you don't need, like, a ping doesn't take up any time at all. You just hold Alt and drag. It's not hard.
So also, a lot of people, and we had received a little bit of feedback on, and I think this will kind of tie in, on our voice chat episode, a lot of feedback about people not wanting to be very vocal. That's fair. That's a point that we didn't actually bring up as much as we probably should have. But I know that some people might be a little hesitant to try to start shot calling. I know it's a tall task when you think about trying to say, I'm going to take charge of this whole thing. It's only going to get better with time. Like, it's not going to get better by not doing it. And also, let's say you're a rager. Let's say you're somebody who is going to be just blowing up chat regardless. Like, it's something you can't turn off. Why not turn that into trying to shot call, except with nicer words, but you're typing just as much. You still have your fingertips are still like rolling on the keyboard with what you're trying to say, but it's turning into a positive thing, and then you start getting better at it, and suddenly you're not raging as much because now what you're doing is helping your team every game. And maybe you become a happier person. I don't know. That's a nice little bonus.
Change your outlook on life.
Yeah.
Hey, it's gonna help relationships in real life. Like, I'm serious. If you have a significant other and you start fighting with them, and then you go, you know what? You're right. That was my fault, or I did do this wrong. And I think Chris actually talked about this exact scenario where you go, you know what? I did do this wrong, and you're right. And I'm sorry I did this. But we need to talk about what happened here and how it worked. Like, that's kind of the same thing you're doing in there. You are you're not deflecting the blame. You are absorbing the blame so that they can't be angry about anything.
I would love to see a statistic on the amount of people who rage in this game that rage, like, at other stuff in their life, because I would assume that it's very high.
Oh yeah,
that's something like completely unquantifiable, but it would be incredible to see that number.
I would love to see that. It'd be amazing.
Adam, that's the you versus I, like, talking, which also works very well in games. If you say you messed up, that's not very helpful. Saying,
right,
I think we should have done this instead is a way less, like, aggressive route to take, and says exactly the same things but pisses people off less. That's what you like.
It's
you have
true.
to do that with strangers. Why would you purposely poke the bear, even if it's the beginning of the game and one bad thing happens? Why would you poke the bear when no one's angry yet? Why even start the possibility of people getting angry? That's snowballing on two fronts, because now your team's losing and they're getting angry. And suddenly coordination goes out the window.
Because you are in the number 1 of your division, and everybody thinks they should be in the 5 of the next division, so everybody thinks they're right. And it's a giant fucking clown fiesta.
That's just because you're a Diamond 2 main who's just stuck in her Plat 3 body.
No, it's not me.
We know
it's
fun.
everything. Fucking, it's bronze 1 and silver fucking 1 and gold 1. Every one has a fucking person thinks
chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
It's not like just the gold 1 or plat 1 or any of that shit. Like, there's that giant disconnect that everybody's like, oh, well, if I could just climb, I'd be out of this fucking hellhole of a game, and I don't have to play with all these bad players.
Escape.
There's no escaping. This game is this game. Like, you will run into shitters regardless of where you're at. If you watch streams, you will go and you will see people that are in Challenger that are trolling. Like it happens. You will do not. It doesn't matter if you pumped out 1,000 games and you just happen to be ranked number 1 in whatever the fuck it is. You're gonna run into people eventually who will just ruin your fun at some point, and you got to come to the conclusion that, hey, I'm just gonna do what I can control and impact this game as positively as I myself can. Maybe I'm going to be in a game where 4 people are assholes and I'm the one beaming ray of light, because that has happened time and again. And some people, I've seen some people go into games super positive, and then as soon as somebody says one thing critical of them, they freak out and then want to AFK and all that stuff. Hey, how about we, as a community of gamers, instead of doing any of that, just like chill out.
You are the only thing you can control in any game that you play ever. I laughed because I said because I wasn't going to bring Overwatch again, but I'm going to bring it just because I love Mary to death, but she's been playing Overwatch, and it's just typical first-person shooter type of shit where she's screaming. No, she's
I love her, but she's been playing Overwatch.
I love her.
No. But that's not what I meant. It was just the sentence come out.
That's what we heard, so it's okay.
I know. But it's same shit I did when I played Modern Warfare. Like, motherfucker, no one's fucking doing anything, this and that. And, I had to sit down and have the quick conversation of, listen, you're the only person you can control. So if you want them to do what you think, you need to jump in voice chat and tell them, or you need to start using smart pings, or you need to pick a champion that, that takes care of the weakness in the game. If somebody's not walking up behind the cart, or somebody's not taking an objective in League, or somebody's not doing something properly, you got to fill in those gaps somehow, and you have to try to make up for the deficiencies in the game, because you're the only thing you can control. Now you can influence.
I don't know if that applies. I don't know if that applies to Overwatch, because I can play Soldier 76 and get 5 gold medals. My team still loses. What more can I do? What more can I do? I have gold and healing, for crying out loud.
Stand behind the fucking cart. Stop playing team deathmatch.
I've got gold objective time. What more can I do?
Stop playing team deathmatch.
I love how we weren't going to turn this into an Overwatch podcast, and that's what it's turned into.
It's turned into like a general overall podcast at this point.
I had a really good point, or at least in my head it was a good point, so it probably wasn't, and completely lost it because my brain switched to Overwatch. This is what happens, kids, when your brain switches over.
And what's going to happen is after the show, we're like, anyone going to play? Sean's going to be like, nah, I'm leaving. Punch will be like, nah, I'm going to play Overwatch. And fucking Ciro's going to be like, nah, I'm playing Overwatch too. And I'm going to be like...
I am working 12-hour days this week, so I am going to go to sleep after probably playing 3 games of Overwatch. So,
motherfuckers.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm trying to fucking play some goddamn League of Legends.
I love how you turn that into, I have been working so hard. I need a break. I am going to go to bed early, but that's after I play Overwatch for 4.5 hours, and it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah, those I use statements. I need a break from you, Pone. That's
You've talked to me for all of an hour today. Like a maximum of an hour today. I do all the work, and I get no thanks. You see how I'm using I statements? I fucking hate you guys.
Guys, don't.
I think you're all a bunch of fucking assholes.
There's a point. If we were doing timestamps still, we need to cut it and say this is when you need to stop listening to the podcast and go and listen to the Chris Alphenaar one again, because then everything else will make sense as hopefully sarcasm, but maybe.
Oh no, there's no sarcasm there. I fucking hate you guys. God. All right, there might be a little sarcasm there.
So looping it back around, there's a couple other things that I just thought of. In addition to shot calling is not something that has to go just as this is what we need to do. It's also looking at, and this is kind of weird sometimes because you don't want to criticize people too hard on this, but looking at builds. I know we're completely like that tangent just like took a sharp turn back, but if you are the one who pays attention to, I don't know, one of our teammates needs a locket. Is it and talking to your jungler or your support or your top laner and saying, hey, which of you can get this? We really need it versus a Magic heavy team, or their mid laners ahead, or I don't know, some scenario that makes sense that you need to lock it. Same thing with Frozen Heart. Same thing with team based items. you don't need to tell somebody how to build their entire champ unless that's something that they want you to do, because that usually doesn't go over well. But if you at least use it in a team scenario, people will listen again. They'll say,
honestly,
it's great.
If a support, and I'm playing, let's just assume I'm playing jungle at this point. If a support is like, hey, Shira, can you buy a locket at some point? I can't even remotely consider a situation where I'd be like, no, go fuck yourself.
I could.
Like, that seems
I'm
like
playing
such a nice situation.
I'm playing full aggro Nocturne. I ain't got fucking time for your locket. I got a black cleaver to build.
But see, that's bad. That's a bad way to think about things. Is like, okay, Locket could actually even help you as Nocturne in that, hey, their team might do a lot of damage as you enter on your ult, and you might want that extra shield to preemptively eat some of the burst that comes in when
If
you
we're
reach
at the point where
target of
somebody's
opportunity.
asking me to build an item, we're probably at the point where we're not far enough ahead that I'm building a black cleaver. I'm probably need to build that locket.
Hey, Adam, stop playing Team Deathmatch.
No, that's what League is. That's how you carry yourself.
Oh God.
You play Vayne and 1v1 everybody.
No, don't listen to that. Don't listen to Adam at all. He
Only-
only knows how to play Jhin, so you can't listen to anything he says about any other AD carry.
That's not true.
Yeah, it works if you can convince the entire other team to, at 20 minutes in, 1v1 each of them, and if you beat all of them, then they surrender. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to work so well. If you can pull that off, that's great. You can try. It doesn't work, but I haven't seen somebody saying 1v1 me, bro, since like season 2.
I'm gonna
because
do that
people
next
learned
game.
that doesn't happen.
1v1 me at Baron, bro. King of the Hill
better
style.
it'd be better if you called out your own team on that somehow. Maybe it's turning into like a who can survive Baron longer. But otherwise, I don't really know how you would. Like, I don't know. That would be funnier because it'd be at least be a new take on it. And I don't really feel like going back to the nostalgia of season 2 when people were, oh wait, still toxic.
Oh wait, the game hasn't changed except for what people know.
Graphics
I don't know what you're talking about. If you've been to Reddit anytime recently, it's changed so dramatically and that it's compromising the competitive integrity of the game.
That's what I've heard. That's the rumor. Well, I think I feel like everybody is like looking at me like, oh man, we exhausted that discussion, didn't we?
I don't know. I think we did, but I think it's also something that we've brought up and we'll think about on our own. There might be little snippets to call back to occasionally because a lot of these things have been said in the past, and like you said earlier, Pone, people won't listen, like maybe not just from this episode, but if you at least get it into your head and keep hearing us say stuff like this, like it's not, we're not telling you this because we think it's bad advice or we think that we're just throwing shit out there. Or we're saying it because it's worked for us. Mm-hmm. And it's something you could at least try if you're having troubles with stuff. Don't just go back to the same things if you're getting annoyed with a game, if the game's pissing you off all the time. Why not try to fix it? Because it's at least worth a shot. You might have more fun, and if you don't, you're still at the same place you were before.
I used to rage so hard. So hard. I don't think anybody would believe me if I told them that now, but yeah, when I first started playing League, I was a pretty big rager.
I always made a joke that Punch is like the silent assassin of the group. Because I can see that being the case.
I have heard it once.
I'm just
Actually,
cursing at you all like.
I have heard it once. Punch did. It was like probably 2, maybe almost 3 years ago. Punch got drunk.
Yeah.
He was playing a game with us, and he got mad and started like
Yeah,
yelling.
I think it was one time I got mad at Wrecker. I yelled at him. That was the only time.
He probably deserved it, to be perfectly honest. Meanwhile, now it's
really
Diamond,
stupid.
so he's doing something right.
Well, he did stop drinking, and yeah, that helps.
Amazing what that can do. That's the next podcast.
Stop.
Realizing you've got a problem with alcohol and how to stop it.
With the beer in hand.
Yep.
My beer's empty.
Yeah, I didn't partake.
Me too.
I've got a music festival this weekend. I'm going to be drinking plenty. I don't think there's going to be any issue there.
No Kahlua in the fridge. Yeah, just a sad day. I'll be drinking plenty starting Thursday, so it'll be fine.
Oh, is this wedding weekend?
Thursday's the wedding.
Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh.
You got
Dude.
it. I'll be part of the old man podcast club as the 4 wards talked about today. The LOL Dads Club.
I mean, yeah. We discussed this at PAX East briefly. What are you renaming the kids once you guys are married? You do get to do that, right?
I think that's part of the deal.
I think that'd be great. It's you sign both documents when you go to wherever you go to get married, because I don't know much about that.
That place, that
I
marriage
don't know.
place.
The court, right?
You go to the court and get a marriage license, and then you have somebody cite it that can cite it. Technically a judge in some states can cite it, but like in Kentucky, somebody else. Like you have to get someone that's ordained to do it in Kentucky. Rules vary by state to state.
Well, see, that's very beautiful that you can also go pick up a name change certificate probably at that same court.
Probably could, actually.
And Mary will love that because we came up with some great names in PAX East, like Piss Whiskers.
Well, her name is Sloth Whiskers now.
She was so upset about that. I love how that turned into a joke of me just suggesting a name, and then Adam decided to run with it.
Yeah, so guys, when we got all together at PAX East, everyone was kind of going by, like, occasionally by real names, occasionally by online
handles.
names, and Mary didn't have one, and so
she
finally,
has no online avatar.
So by the end, she had one which was kind of emo, I think, if I remember correctly.
It was
But
Bloody Day or something like that.
Yeah, it was super fucking emo, and we made fun of her for it. We're the worst people that have ever lived.
yeah, but then we came up with Piss Whiskers, and Adam didn't stop saying that more than like 3 times per
minute.
15 seconds.
I jokingly made a suggestion, and Adam fucking just sprinted with it.
Because I was trying to
For the
make her
rest of the weekend.
Because I was trying to make her like really
Think
come
of
up with
one?
something. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she came up with
Yeah.
Sloth Whiskers.
Well,
Which is
The
better.
whiskers
glad that I
stuck.
was half correct on something.
Well,
Do sloths have whiskers?
No.
No.
I'm looking this up, and I apparently can't type.
Are you gonna do Sloth Whiskers? Are you gonna type that in Google?
Yeah. It's Ear and Whiskers: The Life of a Sloth, which is at
I
least a
fucking
comic,
hate
apparently. What
Whiskers
forest
is
animals
probably
don't
a
have
cat.
whiskers? Yahoo Animals or Yahoo Answers. This is great.
All right.
This
Well,
is, this
somebody
is
asked
great. This is
Have we jumped the shark?
this episode has. I hope not the whole thing.
we have jumped the sloth for sure.
Whoa.
Oh, all right. I'm just gonna call it early. We could do a fucking 45-minute show this week. I'm okay with that because Wednesday's likely gonna be patch notes anyway.
I'll be gone.
Yeah. Peace, bitch.
Good, we don't want
we do-
you anyway.
Can we do patch notes on how your life is different after marriage, like on Monday?
You know, that would be...
It's not really gonna be any
What-
different. I've been pretty much
That
married for
actually-
last year.
We'd have
You don't
to
know
do a
that.
supplemental show.
Yeah. I mean, the only difference is Mary will now have my last name.
If she chooses to do that, what if she wants to hyphenate it? How dare you take that?
She actually
decision
asked
away
me if she could for school, so she didn't have to go through the whole name change process in school.
from- Gotcha.
It's a very, what's the right word? I don't know. A very adult way of looking at it. I don't know the word. Functional, I guess, is
Yes.
the better word I was looking for. So.
All right, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you actually took something from it. We tried. We got 20 minutes of at least good conversation before we started shitting on each other. But we haven't seen each other in a while.
I hope people respond to this one. I hope people respond to this one and have like either positive things to say in like a week, maybe, or they say, "Hey, we're gonna try this out. I'll report back." I would love to hear back on like this one. Like the addiction episode was a great one to hear back about. I think this one could be good. Maybe I don't.
Hey, we just like, you know what? I think we've taken this. We've kind of taken the stance where, you know what, we're just gonna do at least maybe a podcast a week, every other week, where we just bullshit for an hour and just have fun with it and see what the hell comes out of it. We actually get a lot of good feedback on those, so send us feedback at trinitydivorcepodcast.com. Go check out our sponsors. It's in the descriptions. We're still working on that tournament. We'll have details on that in a couple weeks. I've got Frown working through that. I think we're gonna do it in July, like a month out from now, but I'm gonna get 100% details in the next week for that. So that's episode 368 of the Trinity Force Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for watching us live. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for supporting us. We are prepping for PAX West, so if you're going to be out there, let us know. We'll have people out there. And, that's pretty much all the news I got for the end of the episode, guys. We will see you all on Wednesday. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yep.